The new look Astralis squad seemingly had them best in the synergy department here to open up this series. It was a real team effort from Astralis, everyone pulling their weight and everyone locking it down. For G2, some glaring problems, and considering a lot of these interviews have talked about fixing the basics, losing the entire map to time is certainly not boding well to that end.
G2 have what we know they have, incredible raw firepower, but yeah, synergy definitely has been called into question at times, and some of the calls being made there confusing us. Astralis coming in with a fresh squad and confident display, but NiKo answers with some shots of his own. 3 kills with the P250 all down middle, and Stare is a dead man. He just needs to make it so. G2 can just run their way at him. Knives are out, and NiKo comes in with a bang.
Yeah, quite the way to start this off for NiKo. He is pissed after how that last map ended, and he takes it all out on Astralis to open a knife kill in the pistol round. Yeah, you could. While y'all studied planting bombs, NiKo studied the blade.
Ah, the samurai stands tall. But yeah, it did hurt for NiKo, and towards the end of that T side, some of those entry rounds that, just 5-on-4s, not traded, and then G2 would still somehow lose it in a post plant. Astralis to pull off some clutch or some, late retake. It hurt. So good to see NiKo's coming in confident despite that first map. Got 2 players on a layered setup on B and a third in spawn. Device is trying to scout down middle, but G2 are ready to waltz in. That smoke will give them a path to do so. HooXi just goes through theirs. NiKo's right there as well. They will check for a second man, fortunately enough. And as Inferno often can be, this round is decided off of the entries.
They're just going to bow out of it, run this force back again. Even though G2 went into the stack, they deal with it nicely. They deal with it cleanly. And so no worries out of the gate. They at least find the pistol and the conversions here. All looking good to do that. And you hope at least that, after going low, right, after kind of hitting the bottom, you can pick yourself back up.
Yeah, it's only up from that first map, safe to say. It surely couldn't get worse.
Especially, if this has ignited a bit of a fire under NiKo, right? I think it was clear that first half NiKo and second half NiKo were 2 different people, right? Back on Ancient, it was very much the case that you kind of saw that determined look in his eye where he's like, okay, I'm going to have to do some heavy lifting here.
This is also an event where it brings a conversation we have at Majors where, are these play-in teams more warmed up and more ready to go? NiKo, this is his first, game of the tournament coming through. Astralis have had a couple of days of prac. They know the setups. They know the studio. So, it's a conversation there at least. Nice shot for Device. And that's, I think, part of the reason we see so many upsets in the early Legend stage, BO1s of the Major. But of course, this is a BO3 as we enter Cologne groups. And so if Astralis have actually got the metal to take down G2, they've got to do it here on Inferno or on the decider of Nuke. And safe to say, G2 certainly have the experience as a roster on this map. There's no doubt about that. So you'd like to think they can level it out here. Looking for a third round, should be easy. There's only Device's scout, and right now it's on the wrong side. So G2 a hop, skip, and a jump away from this 3-0 lead. Anticipating a B stack, but it might not matter because Device is about to walk in. He's walked past.
The timings. Yeah. He's missed the timings. Buzz is about to uncover that. Oh, they're in middle, but hang on. Nades pulled for JKS. Now Device comes back, and Device, they're not ready for him here. Oh, that could have been a kill. Second one will land. Now he's got support from the USP. Why is this round so close, I hear you ask? That's a very good question. Hunter's looking to put it all to rest right now over in middle, but he's run down by the USPs.
I'm not worried.
Hello, this is a 2v2.
You're worried?
It's a round that Astralis are going to attempt, I'll tell you that much, because why the hell not? They came into this with nothing other than those few save pistols. Now a Galil and a Scout to make it a bit more interesting. The Scout is going to hit like the AWP as well. Everyone on G2 sweating. They know they shouldn't feel stressed in this round, and yet they do. Backing off, playing around the bomb. They know there won't be a kit here, right? There's nothing else. And so this is very much the right way to have played it. They don't give up the fights. They don't give any way back into this 2v2. And even though Buzz is hanging around, looking to do some damage on the exit, they won't be ready for him, so he's going to get away with a kill.
Honestly,
so a lot of damage done in a round that Astralis had really nothing to go off of in.
Yeah, that was an X and pistols. So, yeah, some awkward timings in mid. You know, G2 expect the B stack there, so they throw an X stack, they go back. It's just the awkward timings that get hit. And again, we talk synergy for Astralis. Lovely 3-2-1 in middle to catch Hunter. That's the reason the round's interesting. He could have just Mac 10 swept them under the rug, but they kill him, they grab 2 rifles, and they make it expensive. So, nice round for Astralis, but it won't matter unless they win the follow-up. G2 can continue to amass bank. m0NESY on an AWP as soon as he can, knowing Device will certainly be beating him there. AWP will start on the short side. A Device classic. Oh, NiKo burning, but Molly on its last tick, and NiKo on his last legs. Blame cuts him off. Opener for Astralis, and they can opt to concede the banana, go for a boost on B. Device still has all of middle.
And if m0NESY tries to take this, he's going to have to be flashed into the angle. Or else this will be a fight that Device wins to further extend this lead for Astralis. Instead, they decide to not bother fighting mid. They're going to go back and join up with HooXi. You know, they're limited in resources here, right? That's kind of the big problem. You don't have the ability to go and fight for this top mid control. You would need favorable trades or the flat-out opener, and you don't have the utility to sustain that in the round. So they go back to the one bit of real estate they've had since the start over here at B, and Astralis are ready for this. They've pulled a third player over.
Perfect timing. Stair lets them all in as well. No one checks it. Hunter goes underneath. He still hasn't even fired. Hunter won't check this, but he's been heard, so Stair swivels and takes that kill, but his teammates fall inside of the site. Gap in the smoke. m0NESY can exploit it, but Stair jumps back to safety to play retake. We've got flashes, we've got kits, but we've also got m0NESY posted at quad.
Oh, first shot lands. m0NESY deals with Borup, and now he learns about Device's AWP all the way back at CT. So as far as they're concerned, they've just got to worry about this rotate through ruins.
Wall bang or lose. That's your only option. There's no way Stair can get out of this angle. What? He hits a blinder. m0NESY misses his, and JKS anchoring now has to lock it down in a 1v1. He hears Device, and he gets out of dodge. There is no time for this round, and Device has to run away, not even with his AWP. G2 scream down the halls and save themselves from humiliation, winning their 4th round. JKS even grabs that AWP, and Device dies to the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, that gets really close, but, you know, with how Device kind of gets bogged down there over towards CT, when they lose Borup on the first peak, it was always going to be a case where Stair had to be the driving force, right? And honestly, that head-to-head fight versus m0NESY, it's a fight that m0NESY should be holding. It's a line that he should be holding. He's supporting JKS here. It's Stair going above and beyond in that engagement. I don't think that's an overstep from m0NESY's AWP at all. Luckily enough, JKS is able to kind of corral that back into a winning round for G2.
Device even has double flash and spawn, so, you know, he wasn't throwing them. I just thought there's no way that they go for it. But, yeah, Stair just does it dry. Doesn't need any support. But then JKS has the clock in his favor and puts on a much-needed clutch for G2 just to stay ahead. HooXi, he had a great map individually, especially on the CT side of Ancient. And he's coming in very confident. He's been shouting all day. G2 need that energy right now, trying to pick themselves up from a map lost. Things have started all right, but in classic G2 fashion, sure, they're 4-0 up, Harry, but the last 2 rounds are anything but clean, anything but nice. However, you'll take what you can get.
Mag 7. All right, Device.
Go on.
All right. New look Deve on the mag, doesn't get checked. Device! 2 kills off of his mag 7 makes this round very interesting now. It's just JKS with the bomb and apartments. He can't drop out anymore. Instead, yeah, the onus would have to be on these players in middle, moving up through short to alleviate some of this pressure. m0NESY's trying to do that right now, but he's got his work cut out for him. m0NESY has to be the guy to open this. m0NESY's got to be the guy that brings them into the fold, and he never even accounts for Pit. He is dead to the Buzzed Eagle, who comes alive in the nighttime down in the pit. No SWAT in this fly, not in this round. Just NiKo left standing. First kill goes his way, but it is a mammoth task here. This crossfire between site and pit is so strong. Too hard for him to deal with, perhaps. He considers that maybe his best option is to look for other avenues, look for an escape plan, a get-out clause here. And he is going to make that decision, running it all the way through the speedway. Now, this was heard by blameF, who's trying to get ahead of him on the timings. This is a real mind game taking place here. NiKo, cognizant that he could have been heard, but he's got to believe. Taps on it, and blameF still collects. My goodness. That's not even really a fight that blameF should be ready for. Like, you've just heard him tap the bomb. There's 9 seconds left on the clock. They've lost rounds to not planting before, so every bone in your body thinks he's going to commit to the plant, and yet blameF, quick reactions up through Banana, plays it perfectly. When Device gifts you a double opener on the mag 7, you do not, you do not let him down.
You don't throw away that opportunity. NT for NiKo, but what more can you do there? 5-7 hits diff. Device, he's going to see this fast mid-play, and Borom has to be ready right now because his team is smoked off. Molotov will help out. Borom runs through the flames, and NiKo hunts him down. Doesn't even choose to try and hang around and fight there. G2 just keep the pace going. NiKo hops into the site, and again, he's had enough. When NiKo activates, G2 look like a different team entirely as he takes a 3rd headshot over the graveyard. NiKo burying them here. 4 kills, just blameF, and vengeance will taste oh so sweet.
NiKo on a tear. He has done everything in this round, and it's just blameF left to beat. NiKo looking like he wants to give this a jiggle. blameF just going to start to root round. No longer open along. And so it might just be this save call for Astralis. blameF without the kit in this 1v2. Sure, there's one dropped at the Haycart, there's one dropped at Moto, but he's not even going to attempt it. NiKo, hell of a round. And, it's crazy that this seems to be what G2 try to do to solve these problems. It's just NiKo saying, fine, we need someone to do something right. I'll be that guy.
That's just...
It's taken a tremendous amount from him. It's taken its toll, but he's able to deliver it time and time again here.
Look at this. 1, and then he goes jumping over the smoke, misses Device's orb.
This one, Stair doesn't do anything wrong.
Throws an aid, that's enough. Homing missile for NiKo. Yeah, Borom, he's the first one to fall there, but it's a bit awkward getting caught. Device got that mid spot that they were rushing, and Borom, he tries to run away. He had to just stay and fight and go 1-for-1.
And we're saying, it's mad that this is kind of what it's taken for G2 to find these rounds. It's once again, it's the individuals making it happen in these moments. When we're reacting to that round there, it's not like some crazy, complex idea to say, NiKo, go kill out mid. That was all him. But that can't be a crux for them in this series. Astralis have had great teamwork across this. And we often say, it's the best team that wins. So G2 doing well to have, corrected their wrongs from earlier on.
There may be no IEM team, but there is one in NiKo. He's anti-flash right now. Great grenade.
Look at this util damage, man. Everyone's wounded, everyone's hurting.
It's Astralis after all.
The AWPs had to be swapped around now, so m0NESY doesn't even have it. Now it's on NiKo, and NiKo's been the guy creating space for you, but he's going to have a much harder time doing that on the AWP, so that responsibility's got to fall down the line. Here's the push out through the top of Banana. 3 strong in the site for Astralis, and a lineup out of Device. It just seems set in stone, written in the stars, that Device would always find the path with this AWP upon his return. And he's sent them out. Even though JKS has got all this space, it doesn't create much. It's not super comfortable, and there was no time to win the round anyway.
Stalemate. Astralis are fine letting G2 save. They know it's a very awkward round to save your guns in, and you know, you only have 3 in the follow-up. It's not like anyone can really buy unless Modesty goes Galil Armor. That's super awkward. Great shot for Device. Astralis, they have a far better B setup this time, because last time G2 managed to break into the triple B stack and actually get a plant. This time, Astralis have 3 players inside of the site. No one cut off by the smokes. Not that they're needed. Device does the dirty work. And he looks oh so comfortable here on the CT side of Inferno. Banana take hit for Astralis again. Throwing a player down. It was about time. Blame looks interested. He's going to smoke the molly and fight for it. Care the random spam. Let's freeze up Buzz to once again go and check long. And even getting that info at the end of last round, like, yeah, when we were triple B, we got flanked CT. We saw JKS in our spawn. So Buzz needs to be hyper aware of that lurk again. Device is taking it now with the Orb. G2, couple of bits of util. Just going to go contact B with this Orb. Try and give Modesty a pick. He can get this on the jiggle. Great shot for Modesty. And you may as well just go, go, go.
Yeah, he's going to try and keep this aggression coming through on the AWP. Weapons now retrieved. It's Modesty with another. This AWP, the saving grace of G2 in this round. And it just might be the save call from Astralis. They really only get to see the AWP in play. Never aware of the full picture of the round. They never learn about JKS once again lurking in the apartment. And so they just play this one by the numbers. JKS even wants to try and remove some of these saving players right near the end.
Would have horrible consequences for Astralis, who have not really built up a bank account they can rebuy, but in terms of the future, this would hold some weight.
Yeah, the real big ticket one is if he's able to do anything about the AWP as well, because then that like forces decisions. But yeah, I mean, look at the crossfire that's held. It would take a bit of a miracle for JKS to find that AWP.
Going to throw himself in, but Justin ain't walking through that door. And 6-2, G2, a far better T side, considering that was their issue back on Ancient as well. They went 9-6 up in the first half. They could barely get on the board in the second half, other than some excellence from NiKo. Lovely opener for Modesty. We've been seeing Astralis a couple of times just play these jiggles in CT spawn. They'll have to move away from that now. Again, they go back to Banana, this time with more players. G2 Cup completely out, but NiKo still goes through. Denies him that space for a second, but the AWP is still getting involved. I like that mid-banana smoke as well. It's going to scare Astralis a little bit from pushing anyone deep towards the tree. Yeah, but G2, they're not scared on A.
With the game that Device is having, when he kind of confirms that he's got this angle, he is that railgun just set up over towards B, that then frees up this earlier stack to go back and reinforce A. Ooh. They throw this smoke that gives the illusion that they can wrap CT, but it's actually HooXi walking it to make contact first. Blame F going to deal with Hunter. Spam damage coming in. HooXi looking worse for wear as he's trapped in the library on an island here. And Blame F. Whoa, the rooting back through the molly is kind of crazy. Thought he would have pushed further afield. But the rest of the gang will hold the line. No problems for Astralis yet. NiKo looking to cause them. He's got Modesty, the man who created all those opportunities in the last round, left alongside him here. But quite the crossfire to deal with. Borup and Buzz split between pit and site. G2 have got to be heads up in these fights. They're aware of this crossfire. They're cognizant of it. NiKo can't find it though, and that crossfire yields a round for Astralis.
And that's why Blame's play is actually really nice. Sure, going back through the molly, you know, he thinks he can do it. He thinks he can survive. But as we can see, it's the way more dangerous option. He's scared of more long players. But getting rid of the guy in library, HooXi can just dictate the pace of the round with this position. There's a minute on the clock. He's in enemy lines. And it's going to be so hard to actually play a crossfire from pit to site if HooXi's alive, because you're just completely open to getting swung at any point. Blame going 1-for-1 in that position forces G2 into the crossfire, and as you said, look at how effective it was. Astralis on low health don't even lose a man in that 2-on-2. So it was worth it for the result. Blame's made some really heads-up plays today. I am definitely enjoying the new look Blame. Even as Ades talked about coming into this series, you know, his T-side ratings are solid. He is finding a lot more impact. It's not just negligible economy kills. And we're seeing the brain power coming clutch in this series. G2 now broken by pushing up mid.
Yeah, it's another one of these like pretty, you know, simple looks of a round where they're trying to explode out over towards middle, taking this space now on the arches.
I like this.
HooXi dead. They're wrapping through the spawn. Stair will meet them here. They've got to get past him if they want to have a chance at winning this round. And with Blame dead, it took Device coming in with the big green and removing this bomb, this spawn wrap, and he's even going to take it one step further. Looking to fight NiKo. Okay. He's on with the Deagle. Wants the ability for the instant kill, and he's going to get it. Device deagled out of the round. One more man up close. Low on HP is Buzz, but it won't matter. He does to NiKo what NiKo did to Device, gets revenge, and Astralis now are starting to amass quite the CT side. It's all starting to come together. Might have had some traded rounds in here, but the G2 bank account now runs dry. That was a swing round in this game.
How did Device get hit quick enough as well after Stair falls 1-for-1? He gets it just in time to stop that bomb. And even though NiKo pre-aimed, the exact angle Buzz is on, that essential one-way on the potted plant is so powerful. Your head completely obscured by the flowers. But NiKo looking like a different guy in this map than especially the first half of Ancient. Those are some sexy Deagle shots. G2 make a lot of noise.
They're trying to feign like a fast apps play with pistols. Kind of a cool idea, but
get some nades out. I mean, look at, you know, sure, it's early round Inferno. You're going to throw a lot of util. Your mollies are all gone, though. There's some dropped in sport, but Astralis have used most of their nades. That's ugly. And very dangerous position for Blame against pistols, but you know he loves them. It's now up to this one rifle that should be okay, but they jump to bait the shot, and Hunter manages to put one more in. Device pulling dualies out to try and end this round with ease. Doesn't want it to get complicated, but it's starting to.
Yeah, the bomb plant is already a huge deal here for G2. Hunter with 3 kills to his name. We need the ace in what was a 1v3 on an eco round. But he's on with the M4. They move in together, and the aim punch wrecks him. Felt like it was always going to be the way.
Good eco.
The spacing on Astralis was good, right? They didn't really give him any room to play into that 1v2, to get a gunfight and back out and play around the bomb. A very good idea of what they were up against. And yeah, you know, for G2, that is a good round. They got a lot of utility out by faking the apps drop. Then they find the kills over towards Banana. They do some nice tricks to throw off the crosshair and even set that up in the first place. And so they at least get out with a bomb plant. That's going to facilitate things like Monacy's AWP getting to come out. Hunter can drop that over.
G2 feel like things are going to plan. First timeout only now being called after 12 rounds or 11 rounds of play. So Astralis have started to take their first streak of the CT side. Wonder if we have another NiKo go kill round. Those have been the most effective. Or if G2 going to go a little bit slower. The one consistency of the last few rounds is Astralis have taken Banana away from G2, and they've won it every single time. So do G2 have a response, or are they simply going to let it happen? HooXi doesn't believe that. Fast backup. Top B smoke, and he goes through as well. Some crucial control taken here by the captain of G2. Is he going to go further, though? Device was ready for that. Haven't seen the orb start in that position. That changes everything. G2 pick up the pace in mid, double stack, Blame there to trade, and with a Molotov down, there's nothing G2 can do. They're being dragged back and forth across the map, and now back into the AWP.
Yeah, Device left here alone on the AWP, gonna get smoked off in just a second. They're further afield than he was ready for. NiKo is right next to him, looking to knock out this AWP from the other side. Gonna drop that smoke at CT, but they hear the tag on the molly. NiKo burns! It spreads last second, and it follows him into the smoke. Now that smoke fades, causing nothing but problems. At least m0NESY baits the peek from Device. That's something. But they're waiting with a nade stack. They're waiting with the nade stack back in spawn. Blame is still even over at A. They tap on the bomb, they bait the nades out, and now they look to hunt down these two players on the spawn side. m0NESY can't do it. Stare holds the line. And Astralis are just unrelenting in these rounds. Everywhere G2 tried to go, every idea they had is punished.
Such a round of mind games there, from the fake from m0NESY, Device giving it up, to the double nades. G2 read the double nades. They chase both players in spawn. Poor NiKo, that looks unbelievable. That actually spreads and takes him down, even after he drops off the top of the coffins. Feel like the smoke would cover you there. And Stare puts up another massive multi-kill in spawn.
That reaction from NiKo, that is so raw. That is how you feel when every bone in your body is telling you you're fine to this piece of util. And it burns him last second, right at the end of the molly when it's doing the most damage. He gets no time.
They never stop spreading, do they? Can never let your guard down. Blame going very aggressive. Down banana, but it's at the right time, isn't it? Because it's only NiKo here in middle, lining up flashes. And now you know exactly what was in store. Buzz with his eyes on the apartments. They come flooding through. It might be the blood flood, though, as Borup drops another. Device picks out Hunter, and it's an easy peasy round for Astralis, taking the lead back. Remember those dominant 4-0 rounds for G2? We are there no longer.
Yeah, early on in this game, it might have been enough for G2 to just kind of let NiKo off the leash, have him tee up rounds. But that's what we say, sometimes the individuals, they're a bit of a crutch for you to lean upon, man. Like, I don't know, so many of these rounds are just getting super awkward, and when NiKo doesn't find that kill that creates the space, when he doesn't get away with a multi-kill, where's the substance? Where's the rest of it? Where's the plan B? And this was something that, the desk were talking about as well, even how it feels like the floor for G2 is lower than that of Astralis.
Yeah. I mean, they're on the come-up right now. NiKo again takes a crucial kill up B, but he gets naded, and Stare has just been the multi-kill man this map.
And I want to say, on top of all of this, I think early on when NiKo was like feeling it, and you could feel that confidence in how he was playing, that's surely gone. The last few rounds for him have been brutal, man. He died in the molly, he gets pushed down mid in the last round, one-tapped in the back of the head, he got naded in the round prior. Like, it's crazy.
Look at the health here for G2. It's a 2-on-4. All they've got is utility, and you would, if they're saving, you can't even blame them at this point. It's the only way to have AKs next round. They're not going to get a bomb plant at this point.
Just look at how the ebb and flow of this game has changed. In the middle, when Astralis were kind of trading these rounds back and forth, it felt like G2 still had what it took to keep it competitive. But that's now gone, right? Like, this round was just a non-starter. It never even really got out of spawn. You lost a handful of fights. Everyone's so low from the nades that now you have a whole minute to sit there and think about your shortcomings. Think about what went wrong in the round, what failed you, and you've just got to stew in that. You've got to stew in the fact that this game is rapidly slipping through your fingers. And considering as well, like, you haven't even looked further afield than just this one matchup. This is Group B. This is the opening game of Group B. This is a very hard group where every game, every progression that you have, you're going to face someone harder. And if this is G2 struggling so much in this Astralis matchup, would you have faith if they matched up against, a FaZe clan in the next round? Would this be even more one-sided?
Oh, don't die after time. It's you wait a minute for that.
Wow.
You wait a minute.
This isn't such an infuriating game. You would be feeling a deep rage burning within you as to how these last 3-4 rounds have gone. It's the most brutal ways you can lose rounds, and they're happening in rapid succession. This is a real test of the metal for G2.
We've all run into this Danish 5-stack on Face It, man. It feels like Astralis are sweating out of their gills right now and looking for a 9-round CT side on Inferno. Given how this game started, You wouldn't have thought this is how good Astralis would have looked on Inferno. m0NESY, he's had enough, and again, the individuals might have to be the answer for G2. It's the only way they've broken into T sides today. HooXi getting that smoke in. It looks like they just want to commit, but they haven't got the numbers here to do so. Another fantastic grenade for Astralis, does nearly 100 damage over the roof. And so they will reset, they will pull back into the quietest player, but not because of his inability, but there's just not been much going on back in the pit. Borup, 6 and 5 awaits. Device in the right place at the right time, seemingly all half. Moves back on long side. If he goes for a mid peek, he is going to cut one off. Device clears it. And another strong grenade. Hunter has to run back. Only 2 players here on A for Astralis, but G2 are quaking.
Oh, Device swinging around on the short side. First contact made at HooXi. Borup dies immediately down in the pit, so this is all eyes on Device. This is one man versus the world. Oh, and Device thrives in this environment. Look at him go. Finally locked out by NiKo. But he did what he had to do and then some in this round. NiKo's been the one guy to make it happen for G2. The one guy to try and bring them back into the fold. He needs this clutch, and he won't be able to find it. Stare again and again, locks G2 out of these critical moments. And while it starts strong for the G2 squad, it's Astralis celebrating come the end of this first half.
Dio's gonna get one back from inside of the jungle. That is Goofy with a triple kill. Make it a Kylar quad.
That one's a little fuzzy, man. They had to play faster off the information. Like
just hiding.
If they were tucked like that, again, if someone throws a fake over your head and you're deep in the choke point, you got to tell your team, like, all right, listen, I'm good. There's no one here. 30 seconds. I don't hear a single thing. I either take a risk and peek or whatever, but you don't want to waste resources and teammates just holding on in passive setups on your site when you could just take one peek and take a risk, even if it's just an MP9. And in this spot, I think that was sort of one chance to win the round. And if they save and everything, it's one thing, but they lose 4. They have Diha left. The half is starting to get away from them, and Nine are playing perfectly comfortable here on T side.
I always just find it so difficult too, watching an Opera peak ticket, when you've given them the space to get out, you know you're gonna have to deal with somebody standing behind those bricks, and that's then at that point just a little head,
Apex,
popping up over
Apex
top.
is such a strong position,
right?
Yeah.
Compared to like having an entire half a body swinging out on ramp. Yeah, they may be pre-aiming you, but I mean, look what happens when you let them flood out, and then on top of that, you got poor Madden just swarmed backside. Element of surprise means nothing when all you have is a deagle.
Jesus, they are broke, man. Diha, sliver of HP to get away, winning his trade at least.
Yeah,
but
slim silver lining.
Yeah, very slim indeed. Well, Nuke was a confidence builder, but turns out Mirage wasn't free. I think if there's one guy to have an M4 solo on this team right now, it's probably Diha.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt. But how's he get it engaged? Underpass crawl will come his way, but there's also that threat of the top mid push.
What is your calling?
This unlikely Astralis new look roster is right now putting G2 in the ring, a 9-round statement in their opening game.
Yeah, they really stepped up towards the middle of this half. This game turned on its head. It went from good control for G2 to open up. It felt like they had a bit of a point to prove, especially for folks like NiKo, but even he got tapered off towards the end. Astralis, they learned that they have a one-man army to worry about, and they've got 5 guys who are willing to push back against that, with Device really bringing it up the helm. Stare and Monacy clash over in middle. It's traded, it's kept even, but G2 have got more in mid, now starting to walk this. They're going to miss the timing on this apps pop.
Curiosity might kill this cat as G2 push all the way down mid. They lose everything. They lose complete control of the site. Astralis beeline for the feline, and they get the bomb plant. G2 still close by with a kit. Can attempt this retake, but Stare in the apartment right now looking to be the star that Astralis needed. The star Astralis hoped for, he has delivered in this series. Smoke for the pit. There's only Device there, though. They're entrenched within the bomb site. NiKo needs something magical in from long side. It's JKS moving in first. Doesn't clear his corner. Bomb takes one. There's a backstab for Stare, and they start to fall. G2 with no solution, no answer to this call from Astralis, and it's a pistol round to boot on the back of a beautiful CT side. Astralis are poised for this 2-0. Did G2 have anything left to say?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think when we've looked at this so far, we've touted the individuals for G2. I think that with how that first half ended, and now the fact that you don't win the pistol, and when you're in the server, you know how important this round is. You know the sort of head start that winning the pistol can give you, how it can bring you back into a game and re-energize the team. Well, you don't get that. You lost the half with some devastating rounds going against you, where it felt like you didn't even have a chance. Mentally, you feel out of this game if you're G2. They need a miracle to bring them back into it.
And Astralis start this as they ended that first half with strong utility. It is met by some grenades of G2's own, but HooXi put down to 40 at the sandbags, has to retreat. Astralis, they want that re-aggression. They're waiting for the pop flash over the wall, but nothing of the sort here for G2. Still only 2B. Flash comes in, but as said, it's all Astralis are waiting for. You're always going to have a player in place to sit behind that wall and re-swing off of a flashbang if your teammate's working sandbags. It's just too standard. It's too expected at this point. So Astralis make all this noise up top B and go back to the A site. G2 at least have the numbers here. Haven't been shaken out of position. But again, we rely on 1Ds. We rely on an MP9 to get through the might of Astralis.
Hunter's going to be this first point of contact. He at least wins that out, but it is traded, equalized. JKS out with one.
Good damage.
Buzz has been hurt over here in the apartments. They know about him, but that's what Monacy's meant to deal with. BlameF did just kill his teammate, and now he's thrown into this all alone. Tried to tee himself up for the highlight clip, but with only 10 seconds left. BlameF just going to look to get out of there. G2 want to try grab some of these dropped guns up through the short side, and Blame is saving. They needed a miracle. A nade kill from BlameF onto his teammates. A couple of good shots out of the G2 side, and HooXi's getting loud. He's trying to bring his teammates back into this and get them believing again.
Yeah, you got to do what you can at 4 and 12, right? Like, this is a rough game for HooXi, but at least his head's still in it. That's a very curious round for Astralis. You know, good damage with pistols and with grenades from G2. And yeah, okay, a little nade. It doesn't bounce as far as Blame wanted. The round was pretty screwed before then, but that didn't help, did it? Okay, G2 have been given a lifeline. Let's see if they can hang on to it, or if the rope will burn through their fingers. Astralis forced to force. At least Blame has this AK. idea.
Okay, nice way for this one to open up.
Oh,
Nice, even doing a bit more damage downrange up through that smoke at Banana. They lose Hunter right away. And with how this entire series has gone, nothing feels sacred, nothing feels safe if you're G2. NiKo still fighting down Banana, gives up this kill. This is now 2 freebies on this Banana fight for Astralis. They've not even had to put much into this position to get great results out of it. HooXi has got to contain this. He cannot fall here. If he goes down, this is a round for Astralis, and suddenly they're extending that lead all over again.
small lead.
G2 forced out into the open. These rotates far away. And Astralis have done enough to get the site here. The nades rain in. That levels the playing field. That has to be the move that lets G2 attempt this retake. But for them, it's not enough to just attempt. They need victory. They need the results here. It wasn't meant to get this close. It wasn't meant to be this down to the wire. But this is where we find ourselves. It's BlameF and Device. 2 signature players for Astralis left in it, playing it perfectly between one another, and BlameF from the pool cleans it all up. You're in safe hands when it's him and Device left standing.
Yeah, a firm grip on Blame, I've heard, and 2 kills to close it. The kit was all the way over at New Box. That was desperate for G2. That Hero AK puts up a double, and what an entry for Device as well, down Banana. That further damage does matter as they just execute HooXi. He has no good options there at top. Even when he finds that kill, he doesn't want to re-swing wide. They're already aiming at him. He has no util, and there's no good positions to play on 10 health in the B side of Inferno. Astralis come back in with a force buy of their own and respond swiftly for G2.
But I just think, you know, the moods of these teams must be very different. Buzz is even rocking the Nova in this round.
Interesting.
And that's not a gun that you buy if you're not feeling confident.
Yeah.
That's just not a gun that you buy. You could have ended the sentence there.
Yeah, true. Go in apartments at least. Jump out pit, but yeah, it's a curious one. Once you clear apps, you're like, well, what do I do now?
He's going to go back and get the gun from ramp, isn't he? Won't be playing with the Nova for long. Never given a chance to shine with it.
Maybe for the best.
Hang on. He hasn't picked it up yet. Yeah, okay, he will do. And now Astralis set their eyes on taking away this Banana control.
NiKo's calling for support, but HooXi has to walk it. Doesn't want to give Astralis that info. Even then, he's not convinced. So NiKo needs to hit more than just the 1 dig.
Just crazy. We're in another spot where it's like NiKo has to win this round, essentially. He's got to get out with a multi-kill here. 1 kill from him. Deagle up close. Oh, he's deadly with it. Another from NiKo, and HooXi lines them up.
Oh, any consistency, any money either. So the wildness at the start of this half will not be ending soon. Astralis will meet them there every step of the way. Fantastic deagling from NiKo, and HooXi through the smoke. That was all prefaced by the NiKo 1 dig down Banana as well at the start of the round. It's how Astralis started their force buys with Device. So where will this opening kill come next? Device hounds it in middle. G2 play a safe setup at the back of the B bomb site and concede mid completely, forcing Astralis, if they want to commit. But not before the smokes. This is G2 saying, all right, guys, we've been given this chance. We've come back in with 2 force buy wins now in this half already. Let's not throw this away. Give them Banana. They won't have the util to run a fake and do a double pump. They have to just execute and go. And at that point, you should be winning this round if you're G2. Question is, can Astralis find a gap? Can they get a clean entry?
Yeah, if you're Astralis here, you're even feeling the kind of change of this round, you know? As you're going out and you're searching, you're seeking for this early fight and it's not being given to you, you should have now realized that, okay, they're taking a much more passive approach here. And so we see BlameF looking to have that first point of contact coming on the Banana fight. He'll just go back, right? You've seen the AK over towards B. Noise has been made here. It's going to be enough to keep G2 entrenched, because the one downside to how G2 are playing in this passive setup, they won't have the info. They have to react if and when Astralis take fights. They've only seen players at B, so they rotate rotated a third man over. That's left it all on the double pit setup. JKS is overran.
Nice
Hunter
shots.
gets out with 2. He's done what he had to in this round to turn the advantage in G2's favor. But a plant comes in. Astralis are not out of this one yet. Buzz down in the pit. Device with him. We've talked already about how strong this crossfire can be for denying the wraps up through short. Right now, they've got to watch Moto. They know these rotates have scrambled in. They know where it's going to come from. Flash goes high. Second one to follow. Buzz swings on the back of it. A light sprinkling of damage. He's drawing attention away from Device. And Device will combine. They find a killer piece. It's left onto NiKo, who's running out of time. And Device will not let them pass. Astralis, they keep the force by wars going just back and forth all across the start of this half. And it feels like when you get Device in there, when you have him in those must-win gunfights in the 2v2 or the 2v3 that are required to close, he'll rise to the occasion. This was a beautiful bit of interplay between him and Buzz to make a 2v3 look so simple, so easy. There was nothing crazy about that. Yeah. They're just playing the crossfire. They're playing the cards they're dealt, but they do it well.
A 2v4 in the pre-plant and all 5 kills from those 2 players. That's just magical for Astralis. And you want to say this is where they can finally get back-to-back rounds after breaking G2 yet again. It's just the hero M4, but a B stack for G2. Astralis do look convinced, they do look committed, they just want to gung-ho into this bomb site. m0NESY hits the deagle. Oh, why stop? Why end the madness here? Let's just trade rounds all day. Borat pulls out nades. NiKo needs to hit the deagle, and he does on the 3rd shot. m0NESY follows up, and blink and you miss it. No one can get comfortable at the start of this half. Buzz might even give an AK over at the end. JKS falls off, and hey, a minute. G2 would have to make some unforgivable errors to give this round over, but they've already done that this series.
He's going to give it a look in. See if they let him make it interesting. But up on top of the boost is m0NESY, and they can just triple swing this, right? They can kind of play these different angles of elevation once they get the info that Buzz is moving in.
They're playing it very well, and he realizes, yep, I had my chance. They gave me the spot. I don't get that insta-kill. They're going to 3-2-1 me. I have to save. So I actually love this reserved call for Buzz. He could have gone in and chased. And yeah, they already have full rifles. It's fine. It's not like you're giving them anything. But Astralis know they can win the next round because, well, they've already proven it twice. So keep this AK going into the next. G2 survive. And frankly, it feels like whoever gets 2 rounds in a row is just going to start running away with this one.
Yeah, the weird thing with these force by wars, you know, when they happen in the first half, yeah, they throw the rhythm off a bit, but there's still time to kind of course correct everything. Here in the second, it's a lot less clean cut, right? You kind of get very, very deep towards the end of the game. By the time you even have economy playing this huge factor of, you know, 2-for-1 rounds and the like. So for G2, that can be their path to salvation. That can be their route back into this game, and suddenly they can look to recover the series, and then it's a whole different ball game. For Astralis, if they're able to return on the Force by Wars here, if it's them to start streaking rounds together, this one's done. This one's over.
And this is the best force that Astralis have shown in this half. Sure, it is met by more rifles as G2 pick up all these AKs at the end. They just take a clean one, but Astralis also have 2 AKs, so...
This is still like the best look G2 have had, right, in this round. This is the most complete that it's gotten for them on the CT side.
Nature's healing. Everyone's got a bit more money to play with. Oh, good grenades with the molly. 2 HEs and Device is gone. That is such a relief for G2.
See, he didn't even waste the smoke because he knew he was dead. He heard all the util raining in. He knew that they'd seen him. But that smoke's actually retrieved and used to re-block the bottom of Banana.
Yeah, this is now a very difficult round for Astralis without a flashbang.
I really like that this is when G2 have like moved into the triple top mid setup, right? They boosted up on porch, they're here, lots of different angles of elevation. It's a very tricky crossfire to navigate.
They just got spotted though with the 3 players at least on A, so Astralis are certainly going to look for a B hit right now. Very important that NiKo blocks it again and keeps Banana intact for G2. Stair has nothing to lose, so he risks it all. But this is where G2 are finally starting to plant their feet in the half. We've waited a few rounds for it. 6 down and no 2 rounds in a row. NiKo and HooXi set up to close, and yeah, this is nice. NiKo just gets info, the smoke comes in. HooXi tries to climb up, and that might be the way that G2 fall down.
Yeah, still, the heavy hitter of NiKo is here, and he might just have this under control. Beautifully transferred. BlameF now dead. It's going to leave it all on Buzz. NiKo doesn't make a play through the smoke. His teammates are here. It's more important now to keep this round clean if you're G2, and so NiKo will not be this next guy taking the fight. Buzz is allowed to slip out of there. The bomb not planted for him back at Banana. I almost wonder if he just looks to leave here.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad decision at all. You know, damage is nice, but yeah, he can't do anything about winning this round. So with no flank kills coming in, he will just save his gun. As long as G2 defuse, they will. Imagine if he had a nade right now, bounced over the roof, killed NiKo. There's a world, but not this one. 12 to 10. And finally, folks, after 7 rounds of play, one team gets 2 rounds in a row. Buzz saves an AK, they get a bomb plant. I hope that doesn't tempt Astralis. I'd love to just see them accept defeat at the start of this half. They still have the lead for now. So give G2 the respect that they've demanded at this point in the game and come back in the next.
Yeah, it's just going to be a light buy on the players that can afford it, right? Buzz obviously still gets the cash as a result of the bomb being planted with the save, so he's dropped the Deagle over. Device bought armor to go with that, and BlameF had a little bit of extra money. He put some armor into this round as well. So what that means is you're going to put Buzz and Device up at the front with the weapons, see what they can do. If either of them fall, well then that gun gets grandfathered forward onto BlameF. So there's still ways, as unlikely as they may be, for Astralis to make this round more interesting than it feels like it should be.
I mean, every round has been interesting in this half. That's the one thing you can't deny. No one's been safe. And NiKo is just doing his best to drag them over the finish line right now, like he was last week in Copenhagen. I mean, some of those games, one against EG comes to mind, where it felt like G2 were doing everything they could to make that hard for themselves, but NiKo managed to essentially single-handedly win that game.
Right, they've been waiting for Buzz. He went in kind of gave mid a top mid a look in, saw if he was given a fight there. They've waited for him to join them at Banana before making this play happen. Spotted by NiKo on the jiggle. NiKo is not going to go back to that as the only line of defense over towards B.
Yeah, they have to hurry up with this rotate because it's just guaranteed to be B at this point. There's 30 seconds, the smokes come down. Astralis have to run through as it fades, and G2 are walking their rotate. They may as well just get in position. NiKo needs to multi-kill, and he gets deked out, but there's no smoke down. These sprays are not pretty, and they will be punished. They will be picked apart. The bomb gets planted. 10 seconds, guns shuffled over, and Astralis are looking to win a round they had no business in.
This is an AK and a Deagle getting you into the post plant. If Astralis can find this, we're right back on to this weird start to the game. Buzz tucked in, goes uncleared, but m0NESY turns around and they will hound down BlameF.
Still.
Now just 2 left to deal with. Device in at the back of the site. He's been instrumental in rounds like this. There's a lot of time ticked off the bomb, and borup is just wasting more seconds that G2 don't have. Device finally dealt with, and m0NESY will find borup to allow this round to come through, but it's not comfortable. It's not clean. The stress was there. They felt that that one was slipping through their fingers.
I mean, G2 know it's B at that point, and they're walking 2 players through CT, even though they don't want to give it up. That's such a scary decision to make with 15 seconds when the smoke is fading. Like, you know the timing is right there that Astralis are going to start running. And sure, NiKo, yeah, he could have mauled them, but Device hits a beautiful 1-dig, and that's the only reason the entire round falls into question there for G2. Nothing is safe, nothing is sacred. And Astralis still might have to face Nuke as the third map if they can't wake up now. But this is their first full buy in round 24 of the half. Keep that in mind. Don't say that every day.
Monesi's throwing in his top mid smoke. That gives the illusion that they might be looking to make the play happen behind it. So it's going to slow Astralis' roll a little bit here. Nice util early just to have Astralis homed in on mid and wasting a bit of time and resources clearing that. They'll still get up over towards the apartments with the silent boost. Second man went off loud, but it would throw your timings off if anyone was playing in the apartments. Now flashing Blame F into top mid. He tries his hand at the entry, and he is able to get away with it. JKS spotted out. Ooh, up on top of the boost. Gets down. HooXi takes up position over on the long side, and m0NESY's AWP rotates in. They're willing to fight for this top mid control because they still had the kind of essence of that crossfire. But Astralis had no intentions of meeting them there. Instead, picking up the pace on this B play. NiKo's underhanded a smoke to cause a bit of chaos in the pool. Flashed in, he's gonna play on the back of it, and NiKo puts a leash on the Astralis B play. m0NESY back turned on Blame F. That one's free, and it's just Buzz left to beat. m0NESY and NiKo combine for 4 between them. And that's where G2 find their salvation, now tying up this game.
Complete disrespect for G2, but it is supplemented well by utility. Good flashes over the spawn, and that smoke in the choke point gives NiKo room to move. And finally, yeah, m0NESY has a bit more of a round here in the CT side, where he's able to play into it. Lovely moves. Astralis get caught looking a little foolish there with that smoke in the way. They don't know where to look, where to clear. And their buy rounds will not last long. Back to pistols, back to pace, into B, and in your face, m0NESY! 3 digs in 3 shots, and he wants every single one!
Have you ever seen something like that? My goodness! Take a bow, m0NESY! It'd been the NiKo show up until this point, but with that display right there, m0NESY cements himself as a real front runner in this series. And if these two can find their footing, I mean, that's probably player of the year right there. Look at this. Unbelievable scenes. Like it's a pug. Like it's easy.
Like it's on rails. That is beautiful.
Everyone lives for, that you never really get, that you never truly get.
That deagle, he makes it look like a railgun.
Where's this m0NESY been?
Yeah, I've been waiting. G2 have woken up. All it took was 6 rounds of playing only pistols to warm up. Okay, it's a different game now. Double peek, double hold, and traded for 2. Buzz gets out with the goods. He's going to run it as well. If he can get quickly out and beat m0NESY's scope, he can win this round for Astralis. At the same time, offering up a 3-on-3 is the risk. He won't take it. They go back to B. G2 with 2 players here. m0NESY assured, solo in the site. He's got to care this apartment, and m0NESY hits it. He's not missing now. Re-aggro at B is very dangerous.
Well timed on NiKo's push though, but he's caught with nades out. It's Stare in the corner. A 1v2 for m0NESY. When you've just had a play like that in the last round, all the adrenaline, all of it coursing through your veins, there's that voice in the back of his head right now that's telling him, why not try it? But Stare's gone deep. Stare is deeper than m0NESY is ready for, and so he will be swift with the reply. Stare, multi-kill round of his own. Bringing that pressure back, the aggro into the top of B, betrays G2.
Yeah, do it again. Play it every round. I want to see this in my dreams tonight.
I have a feeling, we're going to see that a few more times before all is said and done. Nice little interaction between m0NESY and Device as well. I mean, no one can believe this. They know what these moments mean.
They love the waving at this event. There's been a lot of waving across this, the stage. My goodness, you can't predict any of these rounds, any of these moments. We're just living for them. Ouch. Banana's been a battleground of utility in both halves. And this round, Stair comes out worse. Again, G2 concede middle, no triple setup here. They started very heavy B to allow for that util damage, and they've got more in store. Fourth player coming over. HooXi left alone on B. He's got one smoke, though. And a second back in spawn. Hunter gets mollied, has to reposition. And the Orbs look to duel. m0NESY, a dry peek would be his demise. And Device has been so consistent on these openings. He's 8-1 in opening duels in this map alone.
That's a harsh trip back down to reality for m0NESY. Tries his hand at that mid-peak. He's feeling it. He's feeling confident in it. But it's given over the opening. Still, it's well contained thus far for G2. Astralis have had to pump the brakes for a moment. Long is kind of out of bounds right now. NiKo still floating around there. So the path in is up through the short side. Double sight for G2. With Hunter playing from back here at Moto, he's going to be able to play around this smoke. Use that to duck in and out of cover, but the Molly burns JKS forward, flying through the air. He somehow gets out with a double. Now the big question is, will Device check for Hunter? The time is awkward. Had to go back and get the bomb. He's just going to plant it, but Hunter can stop this right now, and he will. Daylight robbery from Hunter. And an awkward reaction of that bomb getting dropped forces Device's hand to plant that wide, and in doing so, he's sold in that round.
He wanted the kill, he wanted to clear backside, but yeah, he had to return, he had to go pick up that bomb, and Hunter almost doesn't get that kill falling off of the box. Very, very close. But a crucial round comes through right at the end in the final second for G2. And it's the star power that's starting to shine now in this series that we haven't had to any consistent degree for G2. But right as the game closes, it's Astralis on the chopping block. And Nuke is calling.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the second half, I think there were a lot of reasons why G2 could have been in their heads, but there's no denying that they've bought a consistent fight in the early stages of this game, enough to make up for any mistakes made in the 4 Spy Wars. They were always there, chomping at the bit to get involved again. It's been this late game activation out of guys like m0NESY, NiKo keeping it up all day. The scoreboard right now for G2 looks how you would want it to look for this team to be winning. And so now the question is poised to Astralis. Did you do all this? Did you make that comeback happen in the first half only to let it get away from you?
m0NESY thinks so. He gets his vengeance against 30 kill Device. And that's got to feel good. This Device has been a nuisance on this T side. And now who can you rely on? G2 have all the room in the world. Play triple B, they retake Banana. Stair could get burnt out as well. Goes over, but m0NESY just going to scare Astralis away. They've seen the AWP at both sides now. m0NESY will remain at B. Astralis is going to just try and get ahead of it, beat this rotation timing, and go for an execute.
The flash is well timed. It causes this to taper off. HooXi is going to be isolated over at long. Won't really be able to be involved here. And his teammates are run down inside of the site. JKS dead after one, and HooXi, sure, he arrives now, but he's got to get something out of it, and the one and done does not tip the scales enough to make this a safe bet for the G2 round. However, m0NESY and NiKo, these are the two candidates you want left standing if you're G2. You believe in these two to win you the round. Blame F as the captain, but right now he's just got to worry about himself. He's boxed in at the back of the site, and now they know about him. The info there for G2, they run him down, and just like that, it's them in pole position. Now, with 2 chances to make this a series after all.
It just never felt doable. It never felt viable for G2 to win this game, to take us to a third map. With the way this half started, with the back and forth 4 spies, Astralis were consistently winning, and then G2 go on an unbelievable streak where we see the resurgence of m0NESY. We see NiKo holding down the B site with ease. And now they have map point against the grain. Astralis, wind out of their sails. Someone's cut a hole.
What a wild ride this game has been, just from start to finish. For Astralis now, the question becomes, right, like Device has been a pillar of consistency here, and Buzz has been the guy kind of, you know, bringing it up behind him. But is the longevity there? It started to become a very stressful game. There was a point in time where Astralis were kind of having fun with this. They felt like they were in full control, and now that couldn't be further from the truth. You've given m0NESY enough time to get switched online. G2, it suddenly feels like you're playing against a whole different squad. Everything's just a little more well-oiled. It's all flowing right now for the G2 squad.
Yeah, they've burnt so much util in this round, though, so let's see how Astralis try and take this top B back. G2 will have to accept it, and even if Astralis don't commit here, that's kept G2 passive for now. Boost is a lovely call to make at this point. Over the top of the long smoke, Hunter finds that 5-on-4, and G2 have been so solid at closing out these advantageous rounds. Without a flash in the pocket, Astralis need to do it on gunfire alone.
Oh, but Hunter's dead immediately. m0NESY moves in with the AWP. He's gone as well. JKS from down in the pit, from bottom of the board, looks to try and safeguard this for G2. Take a bow, Justin, as he looks to make this happen. Blame F backstabbed, and it's JKS from the pit to send them packing and lock in a 3-map series after all. m0NESY in this game was just a delight. That is play of the year. Maybe just an unreal, a spectacle is what we just got to witness there. And with the individuals getting switched online.